COVID hits, I have to lay off almost 60 people and look them in the eye and tell them that they don't have a job anymore, and then was laid off myself shortly after.
Adrienne Persaud says she still feels guilty that she had to lay those people off. A year later, she spends her time trying to help others. One of the things she does is take care of these outdoor community fridges where people who need food can get it. When COVID first hit, Adrienne had been working as a manager in restaurants for almost a decade.
So I lost my job, and my partner also lost his job. So we had to move, and now we live in our family's basement and are both still unemployed. It's bad. I'm an adult that has a master's degree that is jobless, that keeps up. I apply for jobs every week for things that I don't really want to do.
Adrienne says COVID has taught her just how much is wrong with the job she used to do.
My personal experience working in restaurants is if you're sick, you go to work sick. It's kind of the norm. When COVID happened and I had to lay all those people off, I definitely had worked sick a bunch of times, you know, and I'm ashamed of that.
Adrienne is trying to help anyone who is suffering because of the pandemic. She's organized laid-off restaurant workers to prepare meals to stock these fridges. She's created a relief fund to help those workers buy food and pay for mental health therapy. But she says her most important goal is to change working conditions in restaurants. She's pushing for improved job security and higher pay.
COVID has exposed what's wrong with the restaurant industry, and now hopefully we can look at that and change it for the better. I hope that restaurants in the future are a place that I want to work at again.
Like Adrienne, many of us have been waiting for COVID to be over to get on with our lives.
That was dishwasher, right?
Yeah, this is wash.
I want to introduce you to two people who didn't wait for the pandemic to end to start something new.
When COVID started, I was really worried about not seeing Ryan because of the lockdown, and our parents were starting to talk about how, because of the restrictions, we wouldn't be allowed to see each other anymore.
Yeah.
Samantha White and Ryan Taub's story is about love in the time of COVID. How two high schoolers made sure they could still be together during lockdown.
Oh, these colors are pretty.
Oh, that looks really good.
I like it.
Samantha means everything to me. Our relationship is like the most important thing to me, and basically part of my family. I'm sorry, that's very cringy.
I don't hear that. Oh, it's the gray. Yeah. The main reason we started the business was to spend more time with each other, and it ended up with him moving into my basement and sleeping here every night for the past month. Yeah.
Yeah.
So our company, Sweet Sweets, is an interactive chocolate experience for customers, and it's all customizable. They let us know what they want, what colors, what style, what words they want on top of it, and then we make it for them.
When we started the business, we just expected it to be like friends buying it, family members buying it, friends of our family buying it.
And then when we started getting messages from people in Northwest Territories and New York, it was like, oh my goodness, like people are actually seeing our stuff and people actually like it.
Yeah, you do.
Sammy says the business didn't just keep them together, it brought them closer. And it changed her too.
After being in a year of lockdown, I've definitely learned a lot about myself. I think I'm a lot more responsible now. I think I don't care as much about what people think about me. Like before, when I was in school, I couldn't even get up in front of my class to do a speech. I was so scared of what people would think, but now I think I've really come out of my shell and learned who I am and what I love to do. I want to continue the business. A lot of people are asking us, they're like, oh, is this just a COVID business? And I'm like, no, I want to do this. This is what I like to do. I want to keep this business, grow it big, worldwide maybe. And it's cute because it's like Valentine's Day, but it's not really Valentine's Day.
Sammy and Ryan have figured out how to stay together. But for lots of us, the pandemic has torn everything we know apart and pushed us to the edge.
I was never a runner. Like, I'm the kind of person, like, I would not run for the bus or the streetcar at all, because I was like, I don't run.
A year ago, Stephanie Purificati had a busy life working as a live music manager.
And then COVID hits, and everything just came to a grinding halt, especially for me in my life and my industry. As the days wore on and the working from my couch wore on, you know, I could feel myself, like, just, like I was just I wasn't feeling great anymore. And that's when I realized, like, I need to do something for myself, or else I'm going to let myself sort of fall into this pit of despair that I've been trying to avoid the entire time.
What Stephanie did was find the will to get up from the couch and dig out her running shoes.
7 o'clock one morning, I just laced up my ratty old running shoes and went to the elementary school across the street from my house and just started running around the track. And I was trying to do it early enough in the morning so that I wouldn't like see anyone, because I didn't want anyone like to judge me, because I had no idea what I was doing.
It wasn't easy, but Stephanie kept at it with just her running app to keep her company.
All right, here we go. Ready for that next run?
It was kind of brutal. Like the app that I'm using, it's like a 6-week program. There's like a little voice in your head telling you what to do. And
all right, you ready for this? I know you are.
Okay, so now we're gonna do 90 seconds of running and 30 seconds of walking. And I was like, that's what you think. Like, we are not doing that. It was really rough, but I did it.
Stephanie says she felt better almost right away. And today she sees herself differently.
I am a runner. I would not have started this if it wasn't for this pandemic, I don't think. There's been a lot of negative happening this year, and this is one big shining light for me. This has definitely shown me that I can take that attitude that I took with when I started running and apply it to other things that I'm going to want to do down the road.
A new perspective on the job she loves, a lockdown love story, a new sense of accomplishment. When the pandemic began, none of us could have predicted what we would do and what we would learn to get through it. Nick Purdon, CBC News, Toronto.